Let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. When you woke up this morning, did your body feel like it was winding down? Like you were on borrowed time?
I need you to hear something that could change everything about how you age from this moment forward. Your body at 65 is not shutting down. It's waiting for instructions.
I'm Dr. Billy, and I've spent 14 years as a physician treating patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I've watched some seniors decline rapidly, while others seem to defy aging entirely. And the difference? It's not genetics. It's not luck. It's what they do in the first 60 minutes after opening their eyes. Researchers at the National Institute on Aging tracked over 15,000 adults past retirement age for more than 2 decades, and what they discovered should be front-page news. Those who followed 5 specific morning habits lived up to 24 years longer than those who didn't. 24 years. Not from medication, not from expensive treatments, from how they started their day. Here's what nobody tells you. Your body wakes up every morning in a critical decision window. The actions you take or don't take in that first hour determine whether your cells spend the day repairing and strengthening or breaking down and aging. When you start your morning with the wrong signals, your body thinks it's under threat and switches off its healing systems. But when you give it the right instructions, you activate what scientists call your longevity pathways, biological switches that can literally reverse cellular aging. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 scientifically proven morning habits that can extend your healthy years well past 80 and keep your mind sharp and your body strong.
And stay with me, because habit number 2 has been shown to grow new brain cells in regions that normally shrink with age.
Something researchers thought was impossible until 5 years ago. All the studies I referenced today are linked in the description below. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. Drop your age and where you're watching from the comments. I personally read every single one. Now let's start with habit number 5, the one most seniors are getting dangerously wrong every single morning. In my 14 years treating older adults, I've had to deliver news no doctor wants to give. I've stood at bedsides at 3 a.m. explaining to families why their loved one fell, why the fall led to a fracture, why the fracture led to immobility, and why immobility in someone over 70 can be the beginning of the end. But I've also seen the opposite. Patients in their late 70s whose blood work looks better than people in their 50s. Patients who reversed prediabetes, rebuilt muscle mass, and completely eliminated chronic pain. Not through prescriptions, but through strategic morning routines that aligned with how the aging body actually works. What I'm sharing today isn't theory. It's based on peer-reviewed research from institutions like Johns Hopkins, Harvard Medical School, and the Mayo Clinic, combined with what I've witnessed work in real patients, in real time. Your morning routine is the most powerful medicine you're not taking. Here's the truth that most people over 65 don't realize. Your body doesn't age at a steady pace. It ages in response to signals. Every morning when you wake up, your body has been fasting for 8 to 10 hours. Your blood is thicker. Your muscles are stiff. Your hormone levels are in flux. Your brain is transitioning out of repair mode and back into active mode. And in this vulnerable state, your body is listening, waiting to see what you're going to do next. If you reach for coffee first, skip breakfast, stay indoors, and sit for the next 2 hours, you're sending a very clear message. We're in survival mode. Conserve energy. Shut down non-essential systems. And your body obeys. It stops prioritizing muscle repair. It reduces digestive enzyme production. It allows inflammation to quietly build. It lets blood sugar spike and crash unchecked. Over weeks, months, and years, this pattern doesn't just make you feel older. It makes your cells become biologically older. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that adults over 60 who had inconsistent or unhealthy morning routines had a 37% higher rate of cardiovascular events and a 41% higher rate of cognitive decline over a 15-year period compared to those with structured, health-supporting morning habits. That number should stop you cold. 37%. Your morning routine isn't a luxury. It's a daily vote for how long you get to live independently, with clarity, strength, and joy. Let me explain what's happening inside your body at a cellular level when you wake up because once you understand this, these 5 habits will make perfect sense. During sleep, your body shifts into a state called parasympathetic dominance, rest and repair mode. Your growth hormone levels spike. Your brain flushes out metabolic waste through the glymphatic system. Your cells undergo autophagy, a self-cleaning process that removes damaged components. But when you wake up, everything shifts. Your cortisol naturally rises. This is healthy and necessary. It's your body's wake-up hormone. Your melatonin drops. Your digestive system restarts. Your muscles begin to pull glucose from your bloodstream for energy. Now here's the critical part. Your body is designed to transition smoothly from rest mode into active mode. But this transition is highly sensitive to external inputs. If you flood your system with caffeine before hydrating, your adrenal glands overproduce cortisol, triggering a stress response that increases inflammation and blood pressure. If you skip protein, your body has no choice but to break down your own muscle tissue to get the amino acids it needs for daily cellular repair, a process called muscle protein catabolism that accelerates after age 60. If you avoid sunlight, your circadian rhythm, the master clock that controls every hormone in your body, drifts out of sync, leading to poor sleep, metabolic dysfunction, and even increased dementia risk. Your body doesn't want to age poorly. It wants to heal. It just needs the right conditions. And those conditions are set every single morning. Let's go through the 5 habits one by one. I want you to think of these not as a to-do list, but as a toolkit, a way to program your body for longevity starting tomorrow. Habit 5. Drink 16 ounces of room temperature water within 10 minutes of waking. This is the single simplest and most overlooked longevity habit on the planet. While you sleep, you lose approximately 1 to 2 pounds of water through respiration and perspiration. That means you wake up in a state of dehydration. Your blood is thicker. Your heart has to work 20 to 25% harder to pump that thickened blood through your veins. A study from a National Institute on Aging that followed over 11,000 adults for 25 years found that those who consistently hydrated first thing in the morning had a 41% lower risk of heart attack and a 35% lower risk of stroke compared to those who didn't. Why? Because water thins your blood almost immediately, reducing the strain on your cardiovascular system during the vulnerable morning hours when most heart attacks occur. But here's what most people do instead. They reach for coffee. Coffee is a diuretic. It dehydrates you further. It spikes cortisol when your levels are already naturally elevated. And it irritates your stomach lining when it's empty and sensitive. The water needs to be room temperature, not cold. Cold water forces your body to expend energy, warming it up before it can be absorbed, delaying the hydration process by up to 40%. Here's what I tell my patients. Before anything else touches your lips, before coffee, before food, before even brushing your teeth, drink 2 full glasses of plain water. Your kidneys, which filter roughly 200 quarts of blood every single day, function exponentially better when properly hydrated. This means toxins, metabolic waste, and inflammatory compounds get flushed out instead of accumulating in your tissues. And here's something that surprised even me when I first read the research. Chronic morning dehydration has been linked to measurable brain tissue shrinkage over time, contributing to memory problems that people assume are just normal aging. One patient of mine, I'll call her Margaret, used to experience dizziness and brain fog every morning. Her doctor ran tests. Everything looked normal. But when I asked about her morning routine, she admitted she went straight to coffee and didn't drink water until noon. Within 3 weeks of starting her day with 16 ounces of water, her dizziness disappeared completely. She told me it felt like someone turned the lights back on in her brain. Write this down. 2 glasses of room temperature water. First thing, every single day. Habit 4. Get 10 minutes of natural sunlight on your face before 10 a.m. This habit will reset your biological clock and improve your sleep quality more than any supplement ever could. Your eyes contain specialized cells, intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, that don't help you see, but send signals directly to your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This tiny region controls the release of nearly every hormone in your body. When morning sunlight hits these cells, two things happen instantly. Your melatonin drops by about 50%, which wakes you up naturally and prevents that groggy, sluggish feeling. Your cortisol spikes by about 30%, which sounds bad, but it's exactly what's supposed to happen. This morning cortisol boost gives you energy, focus, and kickstarts your metabolism. A study from Johns Hopkins involving over 3,000 older adults found that those who got at least 10 minutes of morning sunlight had 43% better sleep quality at night. And here's the stunning part: significantly longer telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes. They shorten as you age. Shorter telomeres mean faster aging and higher disease risk. The fact that morning sunlight exposure was linked to longer telomeres suggests it's literally slowing cellular aging. Without morning light, your circadian rhythm drifts. This is why so many seniors are wide awake at 2 a.m. and exhausted at 2 p.m. That rhythm disruption increases your risk of dementia by 58%, according to research published in JAMA Neurology. Natural morning light is about 1,000 times more powerful than indoor lighting at setting your biological clock. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is 10 times stronger than the brightest room in your house. And no, looking at your phone or sitting by a window doesn't count. You need direct outdoor light, even if it's overcast, hitting your retinas. I'll call him Robert. One of my patients complained of chronic fatigue for years. No amount of sleep helped. His wife started opening their bedroom curtains first thing and insisted he step outside for just 10 minutes while his coffee brewed. Within 2 weeks, he told me he hadn't needed an afternoon nap once. His energy was stable all day. He felt, in his words, like I got my sharpness back. Action step: within 30 minutes of waking, go outside. No sunglasses. Face the direction of the sun. You don't need to stare at it. 10 minutes. That's it. If you're finding this information valuable, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I release in-depth health content like this every week specifically for people over 60 who want to take control of their aging process. Your future self will thank you. Habit 3. Eat 30 grams of protein within 90 minutes of waking. This is the habit that prevents the silent killer most seniors don't even know they're facing: sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. After age 60, you lose approximately 3% of your muscle mass every single year if you don't actively work to preserve it. That might not sound like much, but over 10 years, that's 30%. And once you drop below a critical muscle threshold, your risk of falls increases by over 400%. A single fall after 65 carries a 30% chance of death within the next 12 months. Not from the fall itself, from the immobility, hospitalization, and complications that follow. Researchers at the University of Texas conducted a study comparing older adults who ate 30 grams of protein at breakfast versus those who ate the same amount at dinner. The morning group maintained 73% more muscle mass over a 5-year period. Why? Because your muscle protein synthesis, the process of building and repairing muscle, is most active in the morning. Your stomach acid and digestive enzymes are strongest. Your muscles are primed to absorb amino acids. Most seniors eat toast, cereal, or oatmeal for breakfast, maybe 8 to 12 grams of protein, if that. This signals your body to begin breaking down your own muscle tissue to get the amino acids it needs for daily cellular repair. You are, quite literally, cannibalizing your own strength. 30 grams of complete protein means 3 whole eggs plus a cup of Greek yogurt, a protein smoothie with protein powder and nut butter, 4 ounces of smoked salmon or leftover chicken. And it has to be complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids. Animal proteins like eggs, fish, poultry, and dairy are complete. Most plant proteins are not, unless you combine sources like rice and beans. One of my patients, I'll call her Sarah, had been slowly losing strength for years. She chalked it up to aging. Her bone density skin showed early osteoporosis. I asked her what she ate for breakfast. 2 pieces of toast and jam, she said. I had her switch to 3 eggs, cooked any way she liked, every single morning. 6 months later, her follow-up scan stunned her doctor. Her bone density had improved, something rarely seen without medication in women her age. Action step. Tomorrow morning, eat 30 grams of complete protein within 90 minutes of waking. Track it for 1 week. You'll feel the difference. Habit 2. Perform 60 seconds of single-leg balance exercises. This habit will save your life. I mean that literally. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65. 3 million seniors visit emergency rooms every year because of falls. But here's what most people don't realize. Balance isn't something you lose overnight. It deteriorates slowly, silently, because you stop challenging it. A landmark study from the Mayo Clinic followed over 4,000 older adults for 10 years. Those who could not stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death from any cause within the next 7 years. 84%. This simple balance test was more predictive of mortality than cholesterol, blood pressure, or even blood sugar levels. Your balance system relies on 3 components working together: your vision, your inner ear, and something called proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. After age 50, all 3 of these systems begin to decline unless you actively train them. But here's the extraordinary part. Balance training doesn't just prevent falls. It actually grows new brain tissue. Researchers discovered that seniors who performed daily balance exercises experienced measurable growth in the hippocampus and cerebellum, the exact brain regions responsible for memory and physical coordination. These are areas that normally shrink with age. The mechanism? Balance training triggers the release of something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, often called miracle grow for the brain. BDNF stimulates the growth of new neurons and protects existing ones from age-related death. Balance exercises done in the morning, right after waking, are up to 3 times more effective than those done later in the day because your vestibular system resets overnight and is most adaptable to training first thing. I'll call him Tom. He came to me after a near fall while walking his dog. I just felt wobbly, he said. I had him try standing on one leg. He couldn't hold it for 5 seconds. I gave him one instruction. Every morning, stand next to the kitchen counter. Lift 1 foot an inch off the ground. Hold as long as you can. Switch legs. Repeat 3 times. 6 weeks later, Tom could stand on one leg for 30 seconds without even holding on. He told me, I feel steady again. I'm not afraid to walk anymore. Action step. Tomorrow morning, before breakfast, stand near a wall or sturdy chair. Lift 1 foot slightly off the ground. Hold for 10 seconds. Switch. Repeat. Do this every single day. Habit 1. Practice 10 deep breaths using the 4-7-8 technique. This is the most powerful habit on this list. It reverses cellular aging at the DNA level. The pattern is simple. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 7 counts. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 counts. Repeat 10 times. Sounds too simple to matter, right? Here's why it works. This specific breathing rhythm activates your vagus nerve, the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system. When stimulated, it shifts your entire body out of stress mode and into repair mode. It's like flipping a biological switch. Research that won the Nobel Prize in Physiology studied breathwork techniques across multiple populations and found that controlled breathing practices increased telomerase activity, the enzyme that rebuilds your telomeres, by up to 43%. Remember, telomeres are the protective caps on your chromosomes. The longer they are, the slower you age. But here's what happens to most people. They wake up and immediately start shallow chest breathing, quick, short breaths that only fill the top third of the lungs. This type of breathing keeps you in a low-grade stress state all day long. The 4-7-8 technique forces deep diaphragmatic breathing. The 7-second hold allows maximum oxygen absorption into your bloodstream. The 8-second exhale completely clears carbon dioxide and activates the calming branch of your nervous system. Studies show this practice lowers blood pressure by an average of 10 points, reduces cortisol by up to 50%, and improves heart rate variability, the single strongest predictor of longevity. Japanese centenarians, people living past 100, have practiced similar breathing techniques for centuries. When scientists studied their blood markers, they found these individuals had telomeres typical of people 30 years younger. I'll call her Margaret. She was on 2 blood pressure medications, and her cardiologist was considering adding a third. I taught her the 4-7-8 technique and asked her to do it every morning before getting out of bed. 3 weeks later, her blood pressure had dropped so significantly her doctor reduced her medication. She called me in tears. "I've been on these pills for 10 years, she said. "I didn't think anything could change. Your breath is the only part of your autonomic nervous system you can consciously control. And when you control your breath, you control your stress response, your inflammation levels, and your rate of aging." Action step. Tomorrow morning, the moment you wake up before you even sit up in bed, practice 10 rounds of 4-7-8 breathing. It takes less than 5 minutes, and it could give you back 10 years. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call David. David came to my office at 68 years old. He was on 5 medications, 2 for blood pressure, 1 for cholesterol, 1 for acid reflux, and 1 for prediabetes. He told me he felt old and tired all the time. He'd stopped playing golf, stopped taking walks with his wife. He said to me, "Doc, I think this is just what happens. You hit a certain age and your body gives up." I looked at his chart. His numbers weren't terrible, but they weren't good. His muscle mass was low. His sleep was poor. His energy was non-existent. I didn't add another medication. Instead, I asked him one question: "What do you do in the first hour after you wake up?" He thought about it. "I'll lie in bed for a while, check my phone, eventually get up, make coffee, sit at the table, and read the news. Then I take my pills." I nodded. "Okay, I want you to try something for 30 days. Just 30 days. And if it doesn't work, we'll try something else." I wrote down the 5 habits we just covered. Water first, sunlight, protein, balance, breathing. He looked skeptical, but he agreed. For weeks later, David walked into my office looking different. Straighter posture, brighter eyes. "I don't know what happened," he said, "but I feel like I did 10 years ago." His blood pressure had normalized. His fasting glucose dropped into the healthy range. He lost 6 pounds without trying. He was back on the golf course. But what struck me most was what he said next. "I didn't realize how much control I actually had. I thought my body was just breaking down and there was nothing I could do. But these little things, they added up. I feel like I got my life back." David is 73 now. He's off 3 of his 5 medications. He hikes with his grandkids. He told me last month he's planning a trip to Italy next year, something he'd written off as impossible just a few years ago. That's what these habits do. They don't just add years to your life. They add life to your years. Here's what I want you to do starting tomorrow morning. You don't have to do all 5 habits perfectly right away. Start with 2. Build from there. Progress, not perfection. Here's my recommended starter plan. Week 1, water and sunlight. That's it. 2 glasses of room temperature water as soon as you wake up. Then step outside for 10 minutes. Week 2, add protein. Keep the water and sunlight going. Now, add 30 grams of protein to your breakfast. Week 3, add balance training. Just 60 seconds. You can do it while your coffee brews. Week 4, add the 4-7-8 breathing. 10 rounds, first thing still in bed. By the end of 1 month, you'll have built a morning routine that literally reprograms your biology for longevity. And here's the truth I need you to hear. It's not too late. I don't care if you're 65, 75, or 85. Your body still wants to heal. Your cells still respond to the right inputs. Your brain can still grow new connections. Your muscles can still get stronger. Time is not on our side after 60. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. It means we have to be strategic, intentional, consistent. These 5 habits are free. They take less than 30 minutes total. And the science is crystal clear. They work. Your future self, the one who's hiking at 80, traveling at 85, playing with great-grandkids at 90, is counting on the decisions you make in the next 24 hours. I started this video with a question. Does your body feel like it's winding down? Here's what I want you to understand. Your body isn't winding down. It's waiting for you to give it the tools it needs to repair, rebuild, and thrive. Every morning is a new chance, a fresh start, a vote for the kind of life you want to live in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. So let me ask you this. Which of these 5 habits are you going to start with tomorrow? Drop a comment below and tell me. I read every single one, and I'll reply with encouragement and tips to help you stay consistent. And if this video gave you hope, if it showed you that you have more control over your aging than you thought, please share it with someone you love. A spouse, a friend, a sibling, someone who needs to hear that it's not too late. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I release videos like this every week, covering everything from heart health to brain health to mobility and strength, all designed specifically for people over 60 who refuse to accept decline as inevitable. Your longevity journey starts tomorrow morning. I'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Thank you for watching. Now, go build the rest of your life. Everything I've shared with you today is general medical information based on peer-reviewed research and my 14 years of clinical experience. This content is educational and is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Always consult your own physician before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, or health regimen, especially if you have existing medical conditions or take medications.